Ooh, just 25 days away from the NFL draft, future stars waiting to hear their name called. And their future, well, as of right now, it looks very bright, looking at some of the top names on Ryan Wilson's big board. And it's time now for Ryan Wilson to join us on HQ. We're going to look at one player in each increment of 10. So we just saw the list there, 1 through 10. You got your 2025 Heisman Trophy winner and Travis Hunter as at number 1. Was that an easy pick at 1?
Yeah. Hey, Jenny, good to see you. And at this point in the proceedings with 25 days to go, I can't believe it's only 25 days. I feel like you could do this segment because we've talked about Travis Hunter so much. But, yeah, this was incredibly easy. Over the summer, it was Will Johnson, the cornerback out of Michigan, who was banged up for the second half of the fall in 2024 campaign. He's been battling a toe injury and now a hamstring injury. He hasn't run yet during the pre-draft process. But Travis Hunter, as you pointed out, was a Heisman Trophy winner, and he can do everything on both sides of the ball. He's listed as a cornerback in terms of being the #1 overall player, but we know he can play wide receiver, and I think the best description of who Travis Hunter is athlete. Here he is making a huge tackle in that Baylor game that they went back to win on a Hail Mary on a throw from Shador Sanders to LeJontay Wester. So this feels like an easy pick, Jenny, in terms of just drafting a guy and understanding that you're not going to get fired 2 or 3 years down the road because he's going to be special in much the same way he was special at Colorado and Jackson State.
Man, it was fun to watch him. 713 offensive snaps, 748 defensive snaps last season. Just absolutely impressive. Okay, going next down that list. Here we have 11 through 20. We're going to highlight number 14 on your list, Will Campbell, out of LSU, your 2024 consensus All-American. What do you like about him?
He's a day 1 starter, and the conversation, Jenny, is going to be his arm length, which is shortish for an offensive tackle. But by the way, I love the way these kids' hairdos are these days. That's what my 18-year-old, he has that sort of hair, so that's apparently a thing. But he is about 3 feet shorter than Will Campbell, my son is. And I don't care about the arm length. He is an offensive tackle from day 1, whether you're at 4 or you're the Patriots and you're taking him. And he plays with an edge. And his entire career, and he's been playing since he was a freshman in the SEC at LSU, is going up against some of the best players, not only in the SEC, but guys who graduated to the NFL. So I'm not concerned about the physical shortcomings that some folks may be talking about at this point. I think he's a first-round pick, and I think he's probably going to be a top 10 pick.
You said day 1 starter. He started 38 games in 3 career seasons, all at left tackle. Coming next up on your big board, we're going to look at 21 through 30. Now, I just want to point out that you had Cam Ward at number 3. I'm circling right now. I have a feeling you know where I'm going with this. Shador Sanders, number 25 on your big board, your 2024 Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year out of Colorado. The name says it all. Why do you have him at 25?
He's a first-round pick, Jenny, and I think he's probably going to end up being a top 10 selection because we always talk about how important quarterbacks are, and sometimes they're taken higher than maybe you have them on your big board. I think, and we've talked about this for months now, I think Cam Ward is a little taller physically. He does have a bigger arm. He moves a little better outside the pocket in terms of playmaking ability, and those are the things that separate him from Shador. Shador is one of the toughest players in college football and soon to be the NFL, and when you talk to his teammates, they all to a person said what a great leader he was. And I think all those things translate. The only difference and the shortcoming really is the physical. And his pro day will be this Friday, Jenny, and the old With the First Pick RV will be out there. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in person. Last Monday, I was down in your neck of the woods and I saw Cam Ward, and he was impressive, and I expect Shador to do the same thing. But realistically, if we're being honest with ourselves, I think Shador's probably in the 20s in terms of when you rank him compared to every other player in this draft class.
You looking forward to that on Friday?
Yeah, never been to Boulder, so that'll be fun.
Ooh, oh, you're going to love it. It's beautiful out there. I don't know what the weather is like this time of year, but you're absolutely going to love it. Okay, we're going to keep working our way down your big board. So now I believe we are at, what, number 31 through 40? Let's pull that list up right now. You got a lot of top players on here, but one of my favorites at number 35, Emeka Egbuka, out of Ohio State, 3-time All Big Ten selection, most career receptions in Ohio State history. What do you like about this kid?
Yeah, and I remember you talking about him in the fall too, Jenny. And I was in Columbus last week after being in Miami, so I got to see Emeka Egbuka run. And you've talked about what a great person he is, and that's what you get from teams. And that 35 does feel sort of low, but he does everything well, and he does it at a high level. He's a professional receiver. He's a professional route runner. He ran a 4.47, which is faster than what Jackson Smith-Njigba ran at his pro day at Ohio State 2 years ago. And I think he plays faster. He's bigger, a little more physical. He can play in the slot. He can play outside. And if you told me he goes in the first round, I would be right there with you because he's every bit of first-round talent. This group, this draft class is just so deep at defensive players. Emeka got pushed back down a little bit to pick 35, but he's a top 32 guy for me all day long.
Got to ask you about the next player on our list. Let's pull up 41 through 50. And again, these are a lot of common names that we've heard all year long. I want to point out number 40. Where are we going over here? He's cracking the top 50, 41, right at the top. We got Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina. 1,222 rush yards after contact last season, as second in the FBS behind a guy named Ashton Jeanty, which obviously we hear quite a bit about. Tell us more about Hampton.
Yeah, that list there, those names we saw at the top, a lot of those guys in other draft classes could be first-round picks. But again, this group is so deep, and you see Omarion Hampton here. He's a track guy. He's 5'10", just a shade under, or 5'11", excuse me, about 220. And he runs at a breakneck speed, and he does it between the tackles. He ran 4.4 at the combine, and you see here running through arm tackles. He's incredibly efficient as a pass catcher as well, and he will block. So again, if he snuck into the bottom of the first round, Jenny, I'd be right there with you. And 41 again seems low because he is so efficient and so strong and does so many things well in terms of running the ball and catching the ball and blocking that maybe he goes higher. But right now, Ashton Jeanty's the clear-cut running back 1, but Omarion Hampton's running back 2, and there are going to be a ton of teams that are going to be looking to get him in that 30 to 45 range once the draft actually gets here.
All right, Hampton cracking that top 50 now. We're going to keep working our way down this list and look at 51 through 60. And a player that, you know, again, you can't pick favorites, but you got guys that you meet and you really just want to see them succeed, and that is number 55 on your list, Jack Sawyer, Ohio State, the 2024 national champion, a 2-time second-team All-Big Ten. Ryan, I know you went to Ohio State Pro Days. What did you see from Jack?
He looked great, and just I'm laughing, Jenny, because we could go down the list of guys. JT Tuimoloau looked great. Will Howard looked great. Trey Henderson looked great. And you go, oh, that's how that team won the national title. Everyone's great, but Jack Sawyer in particular, the only knock against him, and this is unfair, and he has nothing to do with him, is he has short arms. And at the point in the conversation where I'm tired of talking about arm length with these players, I would encourage you to go watch Jack Sawyer and then get back to me about whether he can play or not. And my comp for him, and this makes people angry, but in terms of the motor, in terms of how he gets after it, play after play, and the urgency with which he plays. That right there, that reminds me of T.J. Watt coming out of Wisconsin. Now, is he going to be T.J. Watt? Probably not, but if you get 65% of T.J. Watt, that feels to me like a potential first-round pick. But I think the physical, and by that I mean just the arms, might hold him back till round 2. But his arms are playing along there, Jenny, so you tell me. I love Jack Sawyer. I'm with you. I think he's a great player, and he's coming off, obviously, a very effective and fantastic season for the national champs.
Listen, I know there's a reason that they go through all the metrics and all the measurements, but sometimes you just got to put that film on and see who you're getting. All right, let's look at 61 through 70 on this list. And at 69, you got a QB that a lot of people have kind of sneaking up the list. I know our Danny Cannell is a big fan of Jackson Dart as well. You got your Ole Miss quarterback there, led the SEC with 4,279 pass yards last season. That's program history, 6th most in the SEC history. What do you think about Dart?
I love him. I think he's, number one, he's a great leader. Jenny, I talked to probably 3 or 4 of his teammates during the pre-draft process, whether the Shrine Bowl or the Senior Bowl, the Combine. And to a person, they all said what a fantastic leader he was. He's incredibly tough. Just go back to that Georgia game where he got hurt early in the game, went to the locker room, got his ankle wrapped, came back and toughed it out. He can make touch throws like this. And I think he's gotten better each and every year after transferring from USC and playing in that Lane Kiffin system at Ole Miss. He does have some limitations. I think he has a good arm. He doesn't have a great arm. He's a good athlete in space when he has to run. But I think if we're ranking him, and you saw that I had him in the 60s here, I think he's probably a second 2nd/3rd round pick for me. That doesn't mean he won't go top 32, and a popular landing spot is 21 at the Steelers because they're going to need help at quarterback, and I would understand that, no doubt about it. But whoever takes him and wherever he gets drafted, he's going to come in and be a great teammate and an eventual leader, no doubt about it.
Interesting QB class we have in this year's draft, that is for sure. Okay, looking at 71 through 80, we got another Georgia defensive tackle on this list. We've seen the effects that Georgia defense can have at that next level in the NFL. We have Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins. He is coming up on the list at number 75. Where do you think he ends up in this draft, and what do you like about him?
You know what? Shout out to producer Jack for getting Ingram-Dawkins on here. I don't think I've said one word about him
This is your moment.
out loud through the draft process. This is great because this kid is, you go through the list, Jenny, and you're watching all these players from all these various schools, and you sort of get into the rhythm, and then someone gets your attention. That was Ingram-Dawkins because he balled out. He's listed at the combine, he was 6'4.5", 276, and he has plenty of long arms, 33.5-inch arms, and he reminded me a lot of Darius Robinson, who was the first-round pick last year, the Cardinals, out of Missouri, in that he can play anywhere along the defensive line. He plays with a twitch. He's quick off the ball. He's strong. He can win inside. He can win outside. And again, I have not said a word about him verbally. I've written about him a little bit, and I think he has a chance to be a day 2 player and surprise a lot of people who perhaps didn't know who he was before he gets his name called on April 24th or April 25th.
He played some of the best football of his career for the Bulldogs this past season, recorded career highs in tackles for loss with 8 of them and 3 sacks. So we'll see how he does at the next level. Okay, we're going to continue down our list. We have 81 through 90. Jaylen Reed is the next fella that I want to highlight. Number 84 over here, versatile safety out of Penn State. Impressive frame, physical build, a lot of talent there, Ryan.
Yeah, you nailed the scouting report, Jenny. He ran a 4.49 at the combine. He reminds me of Brian Cook, coming out of Cincinnati, drafted by the Chiefs a few years ago, in that he can play in the deep half and play safety in the passing game in the deep half of the field. And he also come downhill and pop a running back or pop a tight end. And that versatility, that physicality, he takes good angles to the ball. All those things make him a fun player to watch, number one. And this Nittany Lions team had a lot to do. We talk a lot about Abdul Carter, but there was Jaylen Reed on the back end. There was Winston Jr. on the back end, the other safety who got hurt early in the season. They have King, the linebacker, who's going to get drafted pretty high. So it makes a lot of sense that this team was as good as they were. We spent a lot of time talking about Drew Aller and Tyler Warren, and understandably so. But I think someone like Jaylen Reed, who, again, we haven't spent a lot of time talking about, teams that need safeties, they will be targeting him probably on day 2 because of the physical traits and the smarts with which he plays when he's on the field.
All these players in your top 100 have the physical traits to have success at that next level. Let's look at 91 through 100 over here. Is there a certain player on here that sticks out to you the most?
Oh, there are a couple. Alec Ayuminor, the wide receiver out of Stanford, he's a big physical target. He plays outside, but maybe he can play a little bit more inside. Quinshon Judkins, folks, Jenny, been all over me on Twitter and social media because I haven't had him higher. He's another great player who I failed to mention at the Ohio State Pro Day. He didn't work out there, but he very easily could have. And the other athlete that we saw last Monday in Miami, Elijah Arroyo, the tight end, didn't work out in the 40 because of a tweaked hamstring, but he did catch passes from Cam Ward. He looked to be in pretty good shape in terms of the way he was moving. He has a chance to get drafted probably higher than this 96 number here. But this draft class, not deep at quarterback, Jenny, and we've talked about that, but every other position, it feels like there are going to be a lot of good players that are going to make these teams better and make fans happy, if not right away, hopefully 2 or 3 years down the road.
I don't know, these days we want instant success, Ryan Wilson. That's what we want out there. Just give the guys a chance. Give the guys a chance. Ryan Wilson with the latest, getting us ready. 25 days away from the NFL draft. You can check out With the First Pick for more on the upcoming draft. Their latest podcast going team by team to build the perfect 7-round mock draft. Check it out today.